Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. We are in week number 4 of our virtual book club. For those who are new, we are reading the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. This book, it was written back in 1937, but there's so much good information in here to help us achieve the riches we want. Now, mind you, riches does not necessarily have to mean money. It could be power, it could be fame, it could be your health, relationships, time, freedom, whatever you define riches to be. He shares with us 13 principles that will help us achieve it. And what he did, he interviewed over 500 people who were successful. He wanted to know what it was about them that made them successful. And he took all that information that he did for over 20 years, all that research and the data that he gathered, he made that a book. And this is what it is. So it's a lot of good information in here. And I always say that I would prefer if you are reading the book along with me versus just listening to the video because I can't give you everything that's in this book. It's so much good information. And I tell you, if you actually read this stuff and apply it, your life will change. That's what I'm hoping for myself. And that's what I'm hoping for you. Those are my prayers. So I want to tell you why I decided to do this book because I don't know if I did that before. I had watched a documentary about Think and Grow Rich. It was recent, probably like maybe 3 months ago. And there were so many good people in there who was giving some great nuggets that I said, you know what? I need to revisit this book. I need to go back and study those 13 principles again and apply them to my life. And so that's what started or sparked this whole thing. I didn't know that I would be taking other people on a journey with me. But one, it helps keep me accountable. But two, it helps me share with you what I learned. So I definitely don't want to be on this journey by myself. I'm not that selfish. So I hope you really are listening and even reading along. I've talked about two principles so far. The first principle was desire. And Napoleon Hill said you have to have the desire, the burning desire for whatever it is that you want to achieve, meaning that it's a non negotiable. There's no going backwards. You have to keep moving forward until you actually make it happen. I shared with you 6 steps that can take that desire and help create reality for you. So you can go back and listen to that video if you want. But I also shared principle number 2, which is faith. So you can have a desire for something, but you also need to believe that you can have it for yourself. So if you believe, then you can achieve. And that's where the faith comes in. So, excuse me. So this week, I'm about to choke on my own self. This week, we're talking about principle number 3. Principle number 3 is auto suggestion. And first, I want to read a quote that starts this. And it says, there are no limitations to the mind except those we acknowledge. Both poverty and riches are the offspring of thought. I'm going to read that again. There are no limitations to the mind except those we acknowledge. Both poverty and riches are the offspring of thought. I remember when I was thinking about this, I realized that there is more than one potential reality for my life, for your life. And what makes your life what it is, what helps create it, are the thoughts that we have. So what we think is creating our reality. The only difference between someone who's ordinary versus someone who's extraordinary is the way that they think. It's their thoughts. And so I knew with this book, hence Think and Grow Rich, that this book was going to help me change the way I think about things so that I can achieve what it is that I want. Now, when I talk about autosuggestion, I can give you what it says here in the book, but it kind of basically is just saying what it takes to reach and influence your mind, like what it is that you administer to your own self, the stimuli that it takes to make your subconscious mind believe something. So that could be whether it's just through your thoughts and affirmations. So if you say something enough so that you can believe it for yourself, it was something that they talked about with a garden and how you can have fertile soil. Excuse me. I don't know what's going on with me today. I keep having this tickle in the back of my throat. But you have this fertile soil. So the soil can grow whatever it wants. It can grow weeds, but it also can grow what it is that you desire. And so what this is saying that you have to be careful with what you allow to enter your mind. Whatever you allow to plant and grow in your mind, because it could be something good or it could be something bad. You get to decide that. So if you replace those negative thoughts that you have with the ones that are positive, that's going to help you create what you want, then that's your reality. You're going to, and I mean, and it's not that easy. I know it's not that easy to just say, you know what, let me change my thoughts. Because first it requires awareness, right? So you have to be aware. But when you have that awareness, make sure when you're saying or thinking something that's not serving you, something that is negative, that you say, no, no, no. Let me replace that with something else that's going to actually serve me. And so I just wanted to remind you of that, because we don't want to plant bad seeds. We don't want those weeds to grow. We actually want to cultivate the things that we desire. And so I'm not going to go over those 6 steps again from desire. But one thing that I do want to say to you is that with autosuggestion, it requires you to concentrate. So we talked about in desire, in those 6 steps. The first one was to fix your mind on that thing that you want. You have to concentrate. You have to see it for yourself and act as though it's already happening for you. So it could go to these affirmations. If you say it enough to yourself to the point where you believe it, then it gets to that subconscious mind, because you have to have some emotion that goes with it as well. And that emotion would be faith. It gets to that subconscious mind to now it is your reality. So whatever it is that you desire, whatever you fixate on, concentrate on, and see yourself having as though it is already. So when I say as though it is already, I mean, when you wrote down that statement of whatever you wanted, you write it in present tense as though it's happening now, even if it's not happening, because we're tricking our mind. We're tricking the way we think, so that or tricking the mind so that it thinks that we have something that we don't, but we are going to have it, and you're going to act accordingly. That is one of the beautiful things about when you have a vision. Because, and especially when you write your vision as if it's, happening now, not what it is that you want, but that this is something that's happening now. When you do that, your body is going to respond. And I know I say this a lot to people. I don't know if I shared this before, but the mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. So regardless as to if it's your present now, or if it's something that you desire in the future, if you act as though it is now, if you see it in your mind and see yourself in it, see yourself in vivid color, living color, if you see yourself there, you can trick your mind into thinking that you have it already. And so I just wanted to share that with you, because they always use, I shouldn't say they, because like, who is they? But I would say this. I've heard my mentor, that's really who that they is, talk about how with runners, especially professional athletes, those who are running the Olympics, that they run that race in their mind first. Before they get out there on the track, they actually run it in their mind, and they see the outcome that they want for themselves. And they did a study on that. And what they noticed is that when they put those electrodes on people to see how they react, how their body react, that their body still reacted as though they were running that race. So on that part of the 400, when you're getting to the end and you're tired, your body is saying, go, go, go. It saw all of that. And so I just want to reiterate to you that the mind is powerful. Like what it is that you create up here, even if it's your imagination and not a reality, it can be. And so that's what I just want to leave with you all today. And the other thing that I would say to this, because when you fix your mind on something, I talked about in those 6 steps, like coming up with a plan. This is the beautiful thing. When you have the imagination and your mind is saying, okay, this is what it is, you're going to get those creative thoughts. And when you have that come to you, that inspiration, take action immediately. That's how all this works.